I'd like to welcome Luciano and Anechka. So they are friends of mine from South Africa and have been valuable members of the Warsaw Global Group here in Poland. And today we're going to talk about a few things. We want to kind of learn a bit about their backstory, learn a little bit about the real situation going on in South Africa at the moment. But also we really want to dive into their thoughts about Poland, what their experience has been like here, and what their plans are for the future. So thank you very much for joining me. So Anechka, if you'd like to go first, just give a little introduction.
Okay, so hi, I am Anechka. I am 24 years old. I come from South Africa and I'm currently a preschool teacher here in Poland, soon to be a primary school teacher in Thailand, and I have my level 5 in teaching and training, and yeah, so.
Lovely. Luciano?
Hello, my name's Luciano Carlo Martimici. I'm also from South Africa. I am 25 years old, and I have been teaching at Brit in Poland for 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years, and I'm also going to Thailand. Yeah.
And so you two have both been teaching English. What age group do you teach, Luciano?
I mostly taught adults.
Okay.
Up till now. Maybe I had like a few children groups here and then, but it's been mostly adults that I've worked with. So it's going to be quite interesting working with kids in Thailand.
Well, Anechka can give you some tips.
Yeah, it's going to be something different. I'm going to have to learn a lot of patience. But I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant. And what can you tell me about what your life looked like when you were in South Africa? How did you two meet?
Well, we actually, our parents or family friends knew each other for a long time. So we met when we were really young, and then we lived in the same town. And Lucha's family moved to Johannesburg, so we didn't see each other for I think 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, it was a while.
And then those family friends had a party, like a 60th or something.
Yeah.
And we saw each other at that party, and then again a year later another party, and then it was COVID also during that time. And yeah, so just kind of from then on we were talking and found a really likable love interest, and things just carried on from there, and we've been together for almost 5 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What was life, what kind of work were you doing? Were you also teachers in South Africa?
I was working as an au pair, so it's not quite teaching, but you work with kids, you help them with their homework, so something similar, but more like a one-on-one, where if you're teaching, it's the whole group. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was not a teaching at all. I worked for CIS engineering as a junior estimator, and then that's when you look at steel and you have to work out how much it's going to cost, and then you need to quote. And then I worked as a junior accountant also.
Oh, okay.
So,
And he still does part-time.
Yeah, part-time. So I wasn't a teacher. Didn't know this is what I would do for my life.
God, how do you find accountancy in Poland?
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm yet to dive into that, but it scares me.
It's better to pay someone just to do it.
Accountancy. Cruel.
And what would you say you miss the most about South Africa?
Definitely the people. The culture in South Africa is really vibrant, and it's a really friendly country, I'd say. Everywhere you'd go, you'd always find smiling people, kind people. Of course, sometimes there'd be somebody, but majority of the time it's really happy, sunny South Africa vibes. And the food. We have a lot of flavor, and I find Polish food quite bland compared to South African food. So yeah, when it comes to finding spices, when his sister went home, she brought back a ton of spices every time. And when we went for our visit now in January, I think 20 kgs of our like bag was like biltong and spices and sauce and like rusks. So yeah, I think that's the.
Did you ever look up Harry's Kitchen here in Warsaw?
Yeah, we did, and we haven't been to his like food truck, but we did go to a rugby event once, and they were like making boerewors rolls and like what was the other one? Rib rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were making that there for the day. So
Oh, lovely.
we had some of that.
Yeah, see, the closest I can get to pies and sausages.
Yeah,
here
I
in
feel
Poland.
you.
Yeah, I haven't used them in a couple of years. I need to get back to that. Yeah, I've got an English guy I know in in Rzeszów, who is desperate for English sausages. I've told him I'll bring him some when I visit.
Yeah, it's the best to bring it from home. But like sometimes at the border you might be like, oh, I hope I can take this with
Yeah,
me.
they don't stop you. They don't stop you.
Yeah, apparently this is going to change for the UK. We've just realigned our thing with the EU and we'll be allowed to have sausages again. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully. Thank goodness.
I mean, nobody in Poland would buy them except for a few Brits probably, but we'll see. Okay, so like there's been a lot of stuff in the media right now about the situation in South Africa, and I think Donald Trump has highlighted a lot of things that the media weren't so keen to talk about, we could say. So I was hoping for your kind of input on what the situation is, like how safe do you feel in South Africa?
I think like in general you might feel safe in your own home in South Africa, but also not. Like everyone has a like wall around their house. You have a alarm that goes off which you have to set at night. You have electric fencing. You have like a company that's like in partnership with your alarm that when it goes off they come out to look. And sometimes even with these things like it's still not enough. Like just before we left for Poland 2 years ago, they broke into his house.
Oh god.
And we were like all sleeping through it. Nobody heard anything. They were inside of the house. They like came through the doors, which is like there's a staircase, and then they came through the doors and went to take the keys. And the thing was actually off of the wall, so it must have fell. Nobody woke up. The dogs weren't barking. They took a car and then the bakkie.
Yeah.
They took the other car's keys to open the gate because it was his grandfather's car. And it was actually like his grandmother died recently and it was her car that he was driving.
So it was kind of emotional, yeah.
Yeah, he was really sad about this. And then there was a room closer to his parents' room where him and his mom were doing like the work for their family company. And they broke the window, opened the door, and like took the TV, the like screens that they used to see the things on the monitor screens, and the laptops.
Yeah, and my mom also reported to me, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they were in Jeffreys Bay at the coast in South Africa, and they also got robbed again in my grandfather's house again. But luckily it wasn't like something serious, more like a petty thief situation. The guy just came in and took things and it out. But yeah, you always need to be on the lookout and be vigilant and lock things, and it's become quite of a problem.
Yeah, I think it has like a mental impact on you for the rest of your life, because even when we're here in Poland and you're like safe, you still like constantly like check, oh my phone's not in my pocket, oh my phone is in my bag, where is it, and like at night you like go and double check, okay, the door is locked. So like even though you're in a safer country, growing up that way, you still have this mentality to think like, oh, but something could happen.
Oh yeah, I get that. I mean, in the UK, I luckily, didn't have that much in the way of crime, but like I had a bike stolen, so now I'm like super paranoid about my bike.
Yeah.
Like I had a phone stolen, so again, super paranoid about my phone. And it's like once something happens to you, you just have that edge, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess like the problem in South Africa, like I said, it's not just, you never know if they're just coming to steal. And that's like the thing that happened like the last 10 years that's been very bad. Like maybe 20 years ago it was maybe like petty theft or a robbery here and there, but now it's been more like murder first, I'm gonna take your things second.
Oh,
you know,
God.
and it's really a problem. Like people have really started, and it's like not just white people. Like everyone has started to like be scared because you just don't know. You know, especially when we're talking about hijacking vehicles, that's like the most. I would say the best chance of losing your life in South Africa is in a hijack situation because they.
Yeah, you're really lucky if they
Yeah.
don't do something to you. 3 years back, my uncle just bought a new like Hilux double cab, and it was over Christmas break, and like Christmas is when everyone goes to the seaside in South Africa because it's summer. They went like him, his now wife, and my brother went to watch friends of theirs child like race because he drives these mini race cars. And when they came back from like KwaZulu-Natal area, there was a car behind them with blue lights. So they thought like, oh, it's a policeman. But also like they know about the hijackers. So first they like just kept on driving, thinking like, okay, maybe it's not a policeman. And the car followed them for like another 20 minutes. So they decided, okay, maybe it's something serious. Let's pull over. And they pulled over and the car pulled over behind them. And the people got out in police clothes. They were dressed as policemen. And he was sitting in the car, the guy came and he was like asking him for his license. And my uncle like went over to the side to get the license out of the cabrio. And when he turned around, the guy was holding a gun and he already put off the car because like it worked with the start button. And so when the car is off, you cannot like drive away. And they told him and his wife to get in the back with my brother, who was sleeping, but obviously they woke him up. They zip-tied them together. They took out the tracker in the car because all of the cars in South Africa has trackers just in case something happens, you have this. And they put off their phones to make sure that's also not being tracked. And then like they drove to really far from where they like started the hijack on like a gravel road, and they like told them to get out of the car while they were looking to see if there's a second tracker or something in the car. And they told them all, if you lie flat now, we won't kill you. And they drove away.
Wow.
And they left them like in the middle of nowhere. They took everything with them that was in the car, and it was like new presents, like, but like I guess you choose like your life or something you have.
Yeah.
And it's so bad now that the insurance companies in South Africa, if you have like a bakkie, they're like, sorry, but we just can't pay it out for you.
God. So it's basically like, because in the media at the moment, well, depending on the media, you know, they talk about the farmers, but it's not just the farmers who are at risk.
Yeah, it's not just the farmers. The farmers are definitely like also scared because the place that they were dropped off after this was like near to a farm, and they were like walking through the cornfields. And when they got to like this farmer's door, he was holding a gun also because the farmers there are so, like, you never know what to expect as a farmer. So first you're like vigilant and prepared, and then you would like go into, okay, maybe I should help these people. But yeah, it's not just the farmers. It could literally be anyone in any situation.
Wow. And like one of the things we talked about earlier, you were saying that there's a large kind of immigrant population that's come into South Africa. Can you give a bit more like background on that?
Yeah, so basically this started about I would say maximum 10 years ago, where our government started the policy of not anymore BEE but BBBEE. So BBEE stands for Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment. So it's not just about the blacks in South Africa, it's about how many more black force we can get into work, African workers we can get into work. So with this new legislation, and like I said, those people from Nigeria and Botswana, and then they could all come in and get, well, they weren't guaranteed jobs, but they didn't come in legally. They came in illegally, and they're probably still illegally there. And that was a big problem for our country because our country was never made to feed 60 million people.
Mm.
So all of these people came in and they didn't have houses, they didn't have apartments. South Africa, we don't believe in apartments. We don't really have it. It's maybe here and there you have a flat building, but everyone has their own house. We don't have apartment living. It's not really a thing. Maybe students live that way, but the moment you're not a student anymore, there's no apartment. So that was the problem. We told 20 million people, roughly, come in, and there was nothing for them.
But why did they come to South Africa? Because they were invited, or?
Because back then, believe it or not, we had almost the strongest economy in Africa.
Mm.
So back then it was 5 rand for a dollar. So our economy wasn't always that bad. It wasn't always so expensive and bad. It was a very, very affordable, good country to live in, good quality for the price you paid.
Mm.
But then the people up North Africa struggled and everybody came in, and our government never, protected our borders.
Mm.
And one of the policies were to say, no, it's open border, it's open. And then 20 million people came in, and there was just not enough jobs for everyone.
Mm.
That's when the job problem started. So our unemployment rate shot up from in the 20% to 40%.
Oh wow, even 20% is a lot.
Yeah. So I think now the unemployment rate's at 46%.
Oh my god.
So
How
it's just getting
how can you
worse.
survive that? I mean,
Now that's the
Yeah.
thing, government grants. So, the more you earn in South Africa, the more tax you pay. So my dad I come from a wealthy household. I was quite fortunate to come out of a wealthy household in South Africa, and he earned quite a lot of money. So he was in the top tax bracket. So he paid about 40%,
right.
okay, per month to tax.
Yeah.
And that money gets taken, and then it gets put into the UIF system, Unemployment Insurance Fund system. Every person in South Africa contributes to UIF, whether it is 2%, 3%, everyone must contribute. You don't have a choice. And then that money gets taken to subsidize the unemployment. Now, the more children you have, the more money you get. So a lot of people went and took advantage of that, and they stay in a very poor community, but they have 20 kids running around. And now each one of those must get a grant to live from. And I think it's like 400 rand per kid.
Which is like nothing.
It's nothing for us. It's something for them, because they shop at shops that the prices are much cheaper than we pay, and they live very different lives. They live off bread, and so for us 400 rand's nothing, but for them it's enough to put them through the month, and that's where because they know how to survive, they know how to live under these circumstances, and that's where our government shot us all in the foot, because we all worked, even the middle income people worked to subsidize for the poor, and that's where it went downhill, which very fast.
Yeah, we're having a debate at the moment in the UK, because at the moment we give child benefits, but for the first 2 children, basically, and then we have a cap. And now we have, the main political party and the main rival political party talking about lifting that cap, and everyone's saying, okay, it's great that you want to encourage kids, but there are people who will abuse that system. There will be, it's going to be a massive drain on the economy, so it's a big, because we do need to start having more children in the West. Yeah. It's true. But there are perhaps better ways of doing that. Exactly.
And a lot of new legislations made the situation worse, because another thing that was quite alarming was the new weapon policy they want to bring in, because in South Africa each household is allowed to have a licensed gun, and you're allowed to have, I think, maximum 3. If you want more than 3, you need a professional license. But now the police and the government wants to take away all weapons. So they say, no, you should trust in our police work to protect you. And the bill is starting to go through and stuff, that they want everyone to surrender their guns. And you should
So leave people basically defenseless if they're
attacked. That's the plan. You see, because it's about, the law is about maximizing the enemy to take your land. You see, that's what it's about. So if I tell you, you can give in your pistols, give in everything that was supposed to protect you, with this new law that they want to pass also with land without compensation. I don't know if you saw that on the
Yes, oh yes, yeah.
It fits right into that picture of just surrendering what you have and giving it all to the government. So it's become quite a bit more in your face, fierce situation regarding the land and regarding everyone's safety. It's really a problem.
So when we have people like President Trump saying that there's a genocide in South Africa, do you think that's an accurate statement, or is it a bit exaggerated? Or
look, I think that everyone can be targeted, but there has been a target on white farmers. There has been a target on white farmers. There's documentaries to prove that. You can go on YouTube and watch white farmers documentaries if they haven't taken it off, but it is on YouTube. And no, Trump's not off, but it's not this idea of it is African versus white, and it's not about that completely. There's a lot of African people that are not violent, not for this. There's a lot of people that I believe don't want this for our country, but one can't ignore the amount of white farmers that has been murdered. It's been, and this doesn't want to label it like they're out to target white people, but I mean, I think you can just go read up on the BEE law yourself. You don't need me to explain that for you. I think there is a bit of a target on us, but that's my personal opinion.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fair opinion from what I've seen as well. And what did you think about Trump's intervention with the South African president?
I think it's like, because it's not something that you know in the world. Usually when we meet people and they ask us about South Africa and we tell them about some of these things, they're like really shocked. They're like, what? That's happening in your country? I mean, some people don't even know where South Africa is. So I think it's good that he just opened up this part of South Africa and started showing it to the world, because maybe if more people know about it, maybe it could become better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we hope for.
Yeah, because you still have a lot of media outlets who are trying to deny it, which to me, it's like so evil. I can't understand why, they just, the ideologies on this planet are insane to me sometimes.
Richard, if you want a summary, it's very simple to look at it. When it was 1970, out of a population of 30 million people, we were 10 million white people. So it was always 1/3, And it stayed that way for a while. Now there are roughly 2 million white people left in South Africa.
Wow.
Where did everyone go? You want to tell me everyone left the country? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
No ways. People should really wake up. It's not that, you can't tell me you believe that, or majority left the country. Where would they get money for it? I mean, so yeah, people have immigrated, but a lot has been murdered. A lot has been murdered. I believe it till this day. I mean, people are welcome to prove me wrong.
No, fair enough. I mean, it's a powerful way to put it, actually. I mean, I do know, like yourselves, and I knew people in the UK from South Africa, so of course some people leave. Yeah. But yeah, 28 million difference is quite...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where did we go? You know? Yeah, they were always the majority. I'm not saying we were the majority. We were never the majority. But a lot of us left. A lot of us disappeared. You know? And where to? Like, not everyone had the money. You know, majority of the people in apartheid, the white people in apartheid, were not rich. They were middle class. Yeah, they had money to do things in South Africa, but they couldn't travel, see the world. My dad was poor. My dad was poor. My mom was poor. Majority of the people in South Africa in apartheid, yeah, we had maybe like a nice life, like it was safe. It was very safe, but we weren't rich. Like, so yeah, not a lot of people from that time had the money, I believe, to just leave the country or to go. So, where are those people? That's my question.
It's a very good question.
Yeah, it's because we're at this moment, I think, roughly 3 million white people left in South Africa. That's what the internet says.
It's terrifying. It's
Yeah.
absolutely terrifying. And the fact that so many people don't know what's going on or refuse to believe what's going on is the crazy thing for me, because, you know, I guess there are similar cases with like all the Christians being murdered in Nigeria, for example. You know, there are so many stories that are just not being told about what's happening in Africa.
We had one worker from Zimbabwe, and he came to me and he was like, you know what, like, Luciano, I'm going back to Zimbabwe. I'm like, why?
What?
He's like, I feel safer in Zimbabwe than in South Africa. I was like, you're kidding. He's like,
scary.
you know, like, I feel safer in Zimbabwe than in South Africa. And I was like, yo, like, is it really? And he was like, I don't know, I don't feel safe here anymore. And he was African. So yeah, I think for everyone feels scared, but like I said, where did all those people go? If it's not what I'm saying is a lie, you want to tell me all of them had money to leave the country? I don't know. Does that make sense? I mean, so yeah, it's become a bad situation, and that's only part of it. I mean, I don't know if everyone knows about the energy crisis of South Africa.
Oh, please go on.
So the energy crisis is basically about Eskom that collapsed. I don't know if everyone here knows about Eskom.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't know any
So
details.
Eskom was the major power supplier of, let alone Africa. It wasn't just South Africa. So the Eskom was the major power supplier that specialized in coal power. And basically what happened is, over the years, the business basically, it collapsed basically because of corruption. And because of and because of the electricity transgenders, that was not transformers, that was also not very looked after and stuff. So basically Eskom collapsed and does not have enough electricity for all the people in South Africa.
Wow.
Because we still mainly focus on coal power. So we are driven on coal power. But so what happens is we have a thing called load shedding, where certain sections have electricity and certain sections are not. So you fall under a section in your community,
And that rotates? Or?
and it rotates.
Yeah.
Your hours
There's
rotate.
even like an app
Yeah.
for you to keep track of it, and you
Yeah.
put in your area and you have your times of the day that you're not going to have power.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great for like refrigerated goods and stuff like that.
Yeah, like my family has an ice company,
Oh,
so they have a generator, but like in the summer it's quite difficult. You can only run that generator for that long because the petrol and diesel are also quite expensive in South Africa, and even with this load shedding, your electricity bill stays the same.
Yeah.
wow.
So they charge you as if you were using it, but you never had that power.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of interesting stories about power in the world at the moment. Yeah, the UK, we pay like the highest rates in Europe. In Spain, of course, they had that massive blackout because effectively they switched to renewable energies, and the grid couldn't. Well, there was a big screw up in the grid, and yeah, there seems to be this drive against nuclear, which makes no sense. But anyway, I'm going off topic. So when it comes to like the refugee program that America has set for South Africans, what is your opinion on that?
It's really just for like specific South Africans. So a lot of people see it like as like, oh, like you can just go now. But I think that people that really feel the need for it are the ones applying, because I think there was 8,000 South Africans who applied for it out of the 3 million that are in South Africa right now. So it's not something that everyone is running for. And the first 50 went over. And as I've heard, is like these are people that were like in close contact with like the farm murderers and things like this.
So people who were like, they had a direct threat against their life, basically, which,
And if I think for them it's good. I think it's good to be taken out of this environment that you were threatened in, and like a lot of bad things happened to you. And I think it's good that they can start a new life in a new country and try and like move on from this.
I completely agree. And one of the things that like upsets me is you do get some of these American like woke crazy people that, you know, in their world white people are the only ones that commit crime. You know, white people can't be refugees. And all of this kind of ridiculous stuff. I've seen clips of these idiots talking. And like, I think we need more of this, you know. I mean, to be honest, there's going to be a point where we might be sending English refugees to America because of the free speech laws that we have in the UK, and how people are being politically persecuted by the government for, you know, just trying to speak up against the government.
It's become a problem. Look, like, I'm glad for those people that went over. Like, I think that it's maybe that all of them had a reason. I don't think that it's because they really brought us to our knees. Like, as a white person, you are really, you don't have any choice rather than just to say I surrender, because first of all, you can't get a job. I mean, if let's say you were a farmer and someone comes and takes your land, or you've been attacked on your land, you know, where do you go from there? Because it's everything you had. So I understand why it's the majority are farmers that win, because especially if they've been attacked, that it is, I feel that they didn't have another choice. I think that really with everything that's going on, a lot of the Afrikaners are just saying, you know what, you win, take it, like, we give up, we can only take so much of this. And I think that's what happened, my personal opinion. Could they have stayed further in South Africa? Maybe. Like, but I just think it's become such a place for us that we don't feel welcome in our own country anymore. And that's what but basically it's been happening. And it's not just them. I mean, they were just refugee, but like a lot of people that had the money, or, you know, like us that came across programs, you know, you just hear of the next, you know, white person leaving after the other white person leaving.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not always nice leaving your home and leaving behind everything you know, but a lot of people are doing it. Like, kids that went to high school with me, I know of a few of them that are working at the country clubs in America, which is like a program you can do from South Africa, seasonal work. I know of some that works for carnivals. A lot of them are working on the farms, which is like hard labor. And I know of a few that's also doing teaching English like us, some in like Dubai, some in China, some in anywhere in Asia, few in Europe. So a lot of people are leaving and a few are staying.
And we were just like, this is it. Like, I'd rather go and work for next to nothing in China, or I'd rather go and be in Asia than be in my own country, because anything is better than being, like, I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like, you feel like you are unwelcome. Like, if you go to the shopping mall, you always get served with this attitude. Like, people will not understand it in Europe. They will never understand it. So, but it's like this thing of like, you have this atmosphere around you of like, you're not welcome. Doesn't matter what you do, where you go to. And that's the feeling I got. The last year I was in South Africa, I was like, I need to get out of here, because it feels like I'm never welcome at a place. It like, you have this look of hate towards you, and that's when I decided
so this was your ultimate motivation to get out, and like, because Poland wasn't the first place. You said you lived in Hungary. Was that the first place you went to?
No, Poland was the first place, but we like went on holiday to places now. Yeah, we were considering America before this, but there were so many people that were applying for the program that we didn't like. We qualified, but we didn't make the cut of getting into it.
And what was it about Poland that kind of you thought, oh, I'll give this place a go?
Well, his sister studied. She's like finishing now. Studied here to become a doctor. And like she messaged us while we were like receiving the news that we didn't get into the program for America, that there's a lot of teaching opportunities here and she has friends and maybe we should give it a try. So we kind of came across this agency and we just like decided, let's see, maybe it will work out and like give it a try. For the agency itself, like, I cannot give them much benefit. They weren't the greatest agency for what you pay. And they didn't make the process here, the first few months, like, as easy as it could have been if you had someone proper helping you through the steps. But, yeah, we got here, we got the jobs, and we lived here for 2.5 years.
Okay, so you basically, you got these jobs in Poland because of this program.
Yeah.
And how did you find the process of actually moving here with all of the paperwork and the immigration office?
It was, okay, so starting in South Africa. He's been to Poland before we came here because his sister studies here. So in South Africa, the Polish embassy has this drawing system, almost like you're playing the lottery. We both put our information in like at the same time. His name got drawn like immediately.
Yeah, it was a week and now I had my appointment, yeah.
At this point, like for your appointment, you need a flight ticket, even though you don't know when it's going to be. So at this point, we already booked a flight ticket. His name has been drawn, mine hasn't. And I think we were waiting for more than a month, like 6 weeks.
So 4 months go by and I'm like, are you sure you filled in the thing correct? Because
No,
now we're starting to doubt.
It was not 4 months, it was 6 weeks.
4 weeks.
Oh.
I was like, that you start filling this, that you fill it in correctly, because we didn't know about the drawing system. I was like, something's wrong, because I mean, we send it in, I got mine a week, so I thought she would get her appointment the next week. I mean, and then we didn't do our research. So then I went and clicked on YouTube, and I saw that they had this drawing system, and it was quite crazy that one guy, he applied, and he just never got his appointment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so his parents suggested that I appeal. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I appealed and I was like writing emails and I sent my appeal letter and they were like diverting me from this email to that email.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, this one lady that works there, I think her name was Dorota or something in that line. She's like, you should come on Friday when people appeal and bring all your documents. So we go through to Pretoria on a Friday, and I'm like there at the gate, and this guy's like, you can't come in. I'm like, but here's the email.
That
I
says,
printed it.
That
They
says
said
she said we should come. It's not
He's
like we.
No, sorry, you can't go in. You have to go. Bye. I'm like, okay.
And I call my mom. No. But first we're like, okay, this is now. I mean, they told us to come. It's not like we just said we're coming.
Like,
so we climb into the car. And as I'm driving on the highway, I tell her, call my mom. And my mom is like, she has the phone, we tell her what happened. She's like, this is unacceptable. She says, write an email.
Yeah,
Okay, so we start this email. And we copy in
everyone.
Even
the places we're going to work at in Poland.
Everyone in Poland, should know about this. So we copied in everyone. Impact Teaching. The people, people here, Berlitz, everyone. Wow, I
think it was like 15 minutes.
15 minutes we get
we're close to home and they're like, we're so sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, but we can't.
Your flight is on this day. Please come the Monday. We'll have your passport and visa ready in 3 days.
Yeah.
And we were like, thank God we can really come.
And I even told her, put in there, unfortunately we don't know if we would now be able to come and work for these people. And then suddenly it came through.
It happened. And also for this visa, you need an apartment already here.
Yeah.
So we were paying an apartment's rent 1 month that we weren't even here.
Without seeing the apartment?
Without seeing the apartment. Yeah, you needed
But that was partly our fault because we didn't really look at a map at Warsaw. So we looked at it, but we looked at it of a bird's eye view, and we didn't even zoom in to actually see how far is Białęka out.
Yeah, but it was just 12 kilometers, and in Johannesburg with your car, 12 kilometers is it's nothing.
It's not that bad.
But
and the public transport is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but 12 kilometers here is 1 hour and 30 minutes apparently.
Yeah.
With public transport. So yeah, we were and then we were stuck in this contract for 1 year. So we had that. And then once we arrived here, so we came with Twy originally, which is a company that you work for them and they sign contracts with the people you work for. So whoever you work for pays your salary to them and they do your accounting, taxes, whatever, and they send your money.
Yeah, I work for one of these companies in the UK.
Yeah, so
it was Richard, really, the legal stuff. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, there were times that I told her, I'd rather just fly back to South Africa and screw this because it just never ended. The moment you got this, then suddenly it's something else, you need to get this. Then if you got that, then suddenly it's another thing added to this that you had to get. It just never stopped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Until we said screw Twy and...
Yeah, I think it was we arrived...
And she moved directly to a school which then the
April.
lawyer sorted her stuff
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
once and for all.
So we arrived in April, and in August, I started working at the school, and I was like, no, you need to help me. And there were 2 other girls that was also from South Africa, and they also came with Twy, and they were also in the same situation when you just got
So it's
here.
not just us, it happens to some people. I know of people that came over with Twy and had no problem.
We have a few people that we know from at Berlitz, and they came, no problem, everything was
But we had the hardball, nothing went right. Nothing went right.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with challenges.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning, you had some difficulties with the work permit and getting paid and all of this great fun stuff, which makes life so entertaining, right? But did you face any other challenges living in Poland? For me, the language for sure was.
The language is quite a barrier, I think. Even if you're in Warsaw and you're in the center, you still sometimes come across people that when you speak English to them, they look at you and they're like.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And if you're new here, and I have to be honest, most of the Polish I know now is because of the preschool kids. If it wasn't for their basic words, I wouldn't know anything. And you don't know how to explain anything. You don't know how the person that's looking at you would So, and they're not always, once you get to know them, Polish people are very friendly, but they have a rough start. They take a few months to warm up to you. And so first interaction with a person that doesn't speak English and only Polish, and they're like looking at you like, oh, girl with blonde hair, your name is Anechka, like, why don't you speak Polish?
Exactly.
You feel kind of like I don't know, you just get this feeling of like, oh my word, what did I do wrong? So, yeah, it can be difficult when you come here with the language barrier.
Okay. And how did the cost of living compare to South Africa?
It's more expensive than South Africa.
It's a bit more expensive than South Africa. It is.
But yeah, just like a bit.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Like in South Africa, like the only difference is you don't earn 8,000 rand a month. Like you earn 32,000 rand.
Yeah, but if you,
And that's like
convert it, it's
8,000 zloty.
similar.
You know,
Right,
so
yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's more or less, it's not that more expensive than South Africa. It's more or less the same.
They're like in the same bracket right now.
Yeah.
So that it was not so bad.
Yeah, so like when you were getting paid, it was quite okay. Like you didn't have any issues.
Yeah, like
No.
I think like when we were getting paid, everything was fine. We
Yeah.
never really had like a hard struggle here. So
No, it's true. We didn't have a hard struggle.
and like
It's-
once both of our residencies came through, it took quite a while. We had like the opportunity to go to other countries in Europe and travel and like come back and still be fine for the rest of the month, still have money. So
Yeah. I would say you need to budget in Poland, but you need to see where you spend money. But I won't say it's ridiculously expensive. I think you
No.
can live,
like
but
Poland compared to other European countries, it's really like affordable to live here. We went on a few holidays now, and even like going to Budapest, we were shocked with the prices. Everyone was telling us, "Oh, you're going to Budapest, it's so cheap, you're gonna love it." And we got there, and we were like, "It's not cheap."
it's not.
I even found Slovakia expensive compared to Poland. I was surprised.
Exactly.
Yeah, like there we were paying for like a taco or whatever, just like something small, like 40 zloty.
Whoa.
And I was like, this is so expensive for street food.
Exactly.
Mind you, it feels like Poland's getting like that a little bit these days with the inflation in recent years. Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing I think about Poland. Like things that when we just got here compared like to now have gone up with like 2 to 5 zloty.
Yeah.
If I look at groceries, like sometimes
groceries
I would go
are
like,
ridiculous.
oh, this is expensive this week. Oh, this is cheap this week.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the price of peppers. Like sometimes I buy some peppers and it's like 7 zloty, and I'm like, okay. Then the next week it could be 3 zloty, and I'm like,
But it was 7, yeah.
Why? For me, it's like that with meat. Like
Mm.
I buy something and I'm like, oh, 13 zloty, and then all of a sudden 20, and I'm like, why?
But it was, yeah. No, the groceries you need to watch out. It's very sneaky. Very.
But like even if you like buy online groceries, because in the beginning we like went to a Sean with our bags and we were carrying all of our bags.
Because we didn't
and
really.
coming. And then I decided, I was like, no, we're gonna do this online grocery thing, and it doesn't work out like that's more expensive. It's
Okay.
like 5 zloty for
Delivery fee.
Yeah.
It works out more or less
and
the
I
same.
prefer paying that than standing there with my bags and carrying them.
I'm old school. I totally still do all my shop. I just don't trust that they'll get the stuff I want. You know, like I remember my parents during COVID, they did the whole pickup thing when they didn't want to go into the supermarket, so you could order the stuff online, they pack it for you, you pick it up, and then they did substitutions. But like, I couldn't get this, so we got you that.
That's what happens here as well. Or they just don't give you it.
Yeah, so sometimes we have this problem, but like also we're bad at this. We live next to a Aldi. It's like 100 meters. So if we don't have something, I will go buy it.
Fair enough. But were there any other things, any other issues you had in Poland, or anything you didn't like about Poland?
I think our other issue was we really like struggled finding a friend group to like
Yeah, it was really
like have
difficult.
those fixed people that you do a lot of things with.
I don't
Like we know a lot of people
Yeah.
in Poland, but we never really found like we have like 2 or 3 now at the end that we do a lot of things with.
Mm.
Yeah.
But now we're going, so. But like, yeah, finding like this big group of people, and they're mostly girls, the ones that at the end. So he doesn't really have.
Yeah, it was difficult. Like, I don't know. Like when I was sitting in South Africa, like, the thoughts that were going through my head was like I had this European life in my mind. Like, tonight I'm gonna go catch some drinks with the buddies and, you know, head off to work next day, and then tonight we're at the pub again. And that was rushing through my mind, like this European blood. And I don't know, like, it just didn't happen.
I wish I'd known. If you'd let me know, I would have met up for a beer here and there. Like, yeah, it's difficult with my time because like with Warsaw Global and doing stuff with the channel, plus work, plus Polish lessons, plus girlfriend. You know, like time is short. But like if somebody invites me for a beer, I'll normally be there.
Yeah, it's like I just didn't. I'm not saying Warsaw is a bad place. It was just not what I expected.
I mean, I guess it's that big city vibe, isn't it? It's hard to meet people in a big city, which is kind of ironic because there are more people. But in small places, people get to know each other more and...
like form a closer connection.
Yeah,
so I think
it was
that
difficult.
was our other
like I think especially for us that come from South Africa, because South Africa is like this vibrant, although we have all these problems, you know, we as a nation always find a way to get along and to put our differences aside and work together. And I found the culture here to be like the complete opposite. Like every man's person is so silent. They're just focused on themselves or like focused on their story.
Yeah,
And,
I think this is another big city thing, to be honest.
Yeah, because also in South Africa, like for me, I was living in a smaller town. And like when you go to the place where everybody goes on a Friday night, you know everyone. And the people you don't know, you will know them like after a week or two. So yeah, I think like that mindset of changing from knowing everyone to knowing nobody, and then not really finding anyone to know more people.
Exactly.
I get it. Okay. I think we've been negative enough. Let's be more positive. So, what would you say is your like favorite thing about Poland?
For my favorite thing about Poland is like how safe it is here. Like I've never felt threatened going anywhere. Any time of day, night.
It's ridiculously safe.
Whatever. And like the public transport, because we don't have it in South Africa. I really liked how convenient it is. Like you just hop on a bus and you go here, or hop on a train, you go there. And it's also like quite not badly located in Europe, so it gives you the opportunity to see a lot of things. And also Poland in general is a really nice country. Like there's really nice things to see just a few hours away with a train ride.
True. And the train is so cheap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I probably would have explored the UK more if the trains were like they are here. But yeah, like the prices are crazy. I you know, thank God that they're still nationalised.
So yeah, that was for me.
Yeah, I would say Polish beer. For me, I'm gonna miss it.
Yes.
They really have nice beer, and I would say safety for me was quite really ridiculous how safe it is here. Because like in my brain, you're always thinking of, especially if you came from South Africa, this place, you know, where it was so dangerous. You're here, then you're just like, whoa, this is like a completely different experience.
Did you guys get to like explore much? Like, so I know we went to Krakow together last year.
Yeah, we went to Krakow 2 times with you guys, and then with his sister 1 time. We went to Warsaw for Christmas 1 year.
Oh, lovely.
So we saw the market for 2 of the 5 days.
Oh, it's an amazing place.
Yeah, and it like has the best hot chocolate and warm wine. We went to Gdansk and Sopot with his family. They came 1 year in August. and we went to Mielno.
Oh yeah.
It's like this Polish seaside
I was there.
city.
But I was there during the day in June, so it was before the season really kicked off. But it's such a random place to go to. So did you guys stay in Koszalin? Or?
We stayed like in Mielno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we stayed in Koszalin for one night
Mhm.
because our train arrived like quite late.
Mhm.
And believe it or not, there's only like one Uber going to Mielno.
Yeah, from
Ah.
Koszalin.
Another place. We could have taken the train, but I don't know why we didn't. We were like,
Because it was much longer.
we were like confused about it, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's easier to take the train to Koszalin than take a car to Mielno than to take the train all the way to.
There is actually a bus service, but it's like not obvious because it's like a
Yeah.
local bus. And
No, I really like Mielno. Mielno
Yeah, it
was
really
nice.
cute. Like how we decided on it is he was still like in the process of his residency. Like, is
Yeah,
it gonna
we
be?
would
or is
have
it
gone
not
to
gonna be?
Stettin, but there wasn't place.
Yeah, and we also kind of wanted to go to Spain, but because his residency was like,
Yeah,
and we were like looking at the coast and we're like, oh, Mielno.
it
And
was a very nice place.
my Polish colleagues said that they went there when they were younger, and it's like amazing.
But
So-
okay, so when I went there, it was very quiet. It was full of like souvenir stalls
Mhm.
and beaches, but there was nothing going on. But I was there during the day in June, as I said. So what experience did you have there?
Oh no, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
They had a show on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Where they obviously it was just in Polish, but they had like the show on the beach, volleyball tournament. It was like a volleyball tournament going on.
They would like
Um,
a mini carnival.
Yeah, wow, there was a lot to do.
Mm.
A lot of like partying.
Mm.
And a lot of people.
Yeah.
We were there like later in July, end of July, beginning of August, and there were a lot of people. Like that main street, and the one that's like going the only long street, full of people, full of clothing stores,
Mm.
like outlets.
I remember seeing some of those, and yeah, I went to some hotel, I think, for a beer that was probably overly fancy, but it was like one of the only places.
I know
open.
which one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I think they're very
Yeah,
seasonal.
there's the one with the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. We walked past and we were like, this place is probably expensive. But no, it genuine like for me. It was the most vibrant sea town I visited in my life. Really,
Yeah, it was really
it made me think of Hartenbos. That's in South Africa.
Mm.
It's very very party. A lot of
Yeah, and
party
like you
vibes.
wouldn't believe it, but the people there, like their English is quite good,
Yeah.
even for a small town.
That's surprising. Yeah, because I find in that part of Poland, German is normally very good.
Yeah, like they had like German, Polish, like not an English menu, but they always had German
Mhm.
menus, and at each restaurant there was always somebody like that who was talking
Speaking
us
English, yeah.
But did you also party in Sopot?
Yes, he didn't.
Ah.
But like when we were there with his family, his little sister was going through that phase. Like she was 17, like I need to go party. So even though she was underage, she like somehow convinced me and his older sister to go party with her. And we were there for I think 2 hours. It was like really nice. And then the little sister was like, I want to go home now. She was just not feeling the vibe. So we went home.
Yeah, I haven't experienced this myself, but I'm getting old, so I don't know if I'd survive.
Yeah, like I also the thing is like I can drink, but the next day I am out. I feel so bad.
Ah,
The hangover is really tough on me, so that's why I decided, I don't drink that much anymore.
but you guys mainly drink beers here, right?
It depends. Like if we're like going to party, there might be other drinks and like some shots involved. We went to one of my Polish colleagues' like village. She lives in Skierniewice,
Oh yeah.
and they have a house like just outside of that, like a village house, and they make homemade bumber.
Ooh, nice.
So we were drinking, I think, 3 bottles of bumber that night.
Oh, between how many?
5?
5.
Oh wow, that's
5
a lot of
and-
bimber.
Yeah, no, they
4.
they were probably gone.
Yeah, like at the beginning I remember being like, yeah, another one, and at some point I just don't remember anything. And then like I remember like some going in the car and being like, bye Polish mom and dad.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it was like, funnily enough,
I
even
was the
after
sober
drinking
one.
so much, the next day I felt like a new person. No, like hangover.
If it was me, I
nothing.
was dead.
Felt
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was healed.
But like, yeah, because I'm not a big vodka person, but Polish
Yeah.
vodka tastes nicer than the crap we buy in the UK.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's really nice, especially like the cherry one.
In
Ah,
South
yeah.
Africa, also the vodka made you properly drunk. Like,
Yeah.
the vodka was also not very good quality in South Africa.
No, what
Oh
the-
well, the Russian vodka we got in South Africa was not bad. We had Russian vodka. We didn't
Oh
have
yes,
Brit.
I think it's the same in the UK. Yeah, but the Polish stuff, it's like I can't drink a lot of the straight vodka unless it's the potato stuff.
Mhm.
That I'll go straight down. It tastes so much nicer.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
but like one of the things that frustrates me is how cheap vodka is compared to like every other drink.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, sometimes I want tequila, sometimes I want whiskey, and I'm like, it's twice the price, and it's
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
I
is
was
true.
lucky in South Africa because I was a big whiskey drinker.
Ah,
But yeah, my dad paid for all my whiskeys that we drank together, and we used to drink like Glenfiddich. you know.
oh, lovely.
Yes, yeah, that.
The good stuff.
Yeah. And you know, when you're used to drinking that good quality whiskey, you can't switch to, you know, cheap whiskey because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
not the same.
Yeah,
You taste
definitely.
it and you're like, no, this is not, not the. It's completely a different world.
Yeah, like I'm so glad that this ginnery place has opened up in Warsaw, so I can actually get good gin now, which I couldn't before because, well, the closest was like Bombay or something. But, yeah, like that's not amazing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, getting back on track. So, is there anything else about Poland that like stood out to you as like a surprise, or like anything else notable?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I would just like say that it's like the public transport, not just in the city, but like everywhere you went.
Mm.
Like even Mielno, like had a system where they drove you in a taxi cart. And it's just everywhere, you know, we went in Poland, we can say that you're not going to have a problem when it comes to transport. It's really well thought out and really good quality.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so that brings me to penultimate question. What was the reason you decided, you know what, Poland's maybe not quite right for me, you're now going to Thailand? What triggered that decision?
Definitely the weather. The weather,
It's one of the things.
as South
yeah.
Africans, it got the best of us.
Mm.
Especially like this year. I mean,
Oh, God, yeah,
spring
this year's
this
been
year
terrible.
was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And every time we look outside and we see this terrible weather, we're just like, thank God we're going. Because, I don't know, the weather was like, and how early it gets dark here.
Mm.
We're not used to it, and we were struggling to get used to it.
Yeah.
I think like because in South Africa our winters are very mild. We have like right now they're like almost in winter, and my parents are having like 23 degrees.
Oh,
Like in
Exactly.
the morning it's 3, but when you get to the peak of the day it's 23, and the sun is shining,
Yeah.
and it's winter. So
Yeah.
like I think the lack of vitamin D also like maybe got to us,
Yeah.
and we were just like, oh, what are we doing with our lives?
it sounds very much like Australia.
No, we have very nice. We have the best weather in the world. I
Yeah,
mean.
so I think weather mainly, and like originally coming here our plan was never really to settle.
Hmm.
We are still quite young and we still want to see other
Yeah.
parts of the world, and we want to see like what is out there maybe for like the next 4 to 6 years still,
fair
until
enough,
we
yeah.
decide like okay,
Yeah.
we really like this country and we want to live
So you're
there.
exploring, life is still an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we we did experience like another culture. We experienced the way the outside world is, you know, coming from South Africa and living in Europe. It's like quite of a big jump, you know. It's a big shock for us, especially when we visited Amsterdam and stuff. We were like,
yeah, that's
you know, this is where our ancestors came from.
But it's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, you know, this is where our people came from.
This is where we came from.
You know, like,
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Amsterdam when I was in my 20s.
yeah. It's,
it was an interesting and nice experience. We mainly went for the tulips.
Yeah.
Oh, of
because
course.
it was like
Yeah.
on my bucket list.
Yeah,
but,
this is. I think everyone goes to Amsterdam for the tulips, right?
but
Yeah.
we saw some other things also.
Yeah.
And we actually had somebody, he's Polish, but he's been living there for a few years. So he was like our little local guide taking us through the zones.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah. I think like that's the main reason.
I liked Amsterdam. It was nice.
I
fair.
think Poland is a really good place for families,
Mm.
people like later in their life
Mm-hmm.
to come settle down. And I think that if you live here with kids, like you're giving them a really good future.
Yeah,
I-
fair.
And a safe life.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, international schools might be a little bit expensive, but like the quality of life you're giving to your kids here is, I think, quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people, well, a few people that moved back from the UK to come back to Poland so that they could start a family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I completely get it. It
Yeah.
makes complete sense to me. Like, yeah, I would definitely raise a family here over anywhere else I've seen
Yeah.
so far.
Even as a foreigner here, I feel you still get the benefits that Polish people do. I have two friends that are pregnant now. One Polish and the other one is from the Philippines, and she's been living here a while, and she still gets that like Zeus benefit that you get when you have the
800 plus.
baby. Like besides that, you get maternity leave for almost up to 2 years, which is like a really nice experience, I think, for a mom, because that's when your kid grows the fastest
Yeah,
to
of
experience all those stages of their life.
Yeah.
So yes.
And what are you most looking forward to in Thailand?
Definitely the food, the culture, and the good weather. But we're gonna have to wait for the good weather because we're going in rain season. Yeah, so it's also gonna be a new experience. Some
Monsoon's gonna be fun, I'm sure.
some wet things.
Yeah, it's gonna be totally different culture.
Yeah, we're also not going to such a big city.
Wow.
We're going to Chonburi province, which is like where Pattaya is.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a job, like, they have 3 categories, like touristic areas, city life, and rural areas. And we were lucky enough to get a job in a rural area.
So you're going to have a lot of good nature surrounding
Yeah.
you.
So-
Nice.
You're gonna experience the culture head on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are like 40 minutes from the beach, 1 hour
Ooh.
from Bangkok, and 1 hour from Pattaya, but we're like more England and like they're not really public transport, so it's gonna be a bit of adjusting, but we're excited to see.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing pictures on. I've never been to the Far East actually. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
we're actually thinking of starting a YouTube channel.
yeah.
Oh!
So if
I
you want to go
bought
check
some
that out,
equipment and
Okay.
I really want to do it.
Yeah, we'll
and
probably
so-
text you the name of the
Please
YouTube
do.
channel,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're gonna basically record our lives there, and
do you have an idea for the name now?
It would probably be something like Anechka and Lucia's Adventures
Okay.
or something
Yeah.
in that line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll definitely
Yeah.
like send it to you.
Yeah, let me know. Like, I'll once I get it, I'll add it to the description of this video
Yeah.
so people can check you out.
yeah,
Oh, thank
and we
you.
basically want to tell them like the life of.
How it is in that
Yeah.
province, because we were looking up and we cannot find anything. Well, the province, yes, but
It's
Alex?
a very it's not a very not a lot
No.
of tourists go there, so
Yeah.
it's maybe good on the one side, but
Yeah.
we're gonna see. It's gonna be different.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's more or less it. Is there anything else you want to add?
Like,
No, I think all that we can add is like we might have our opinions about Poland or about like other places in the
yeah,
world.
you should
and
come
things.
and experience it for
Yeah,
yourself.
but at the end of the day,
It's
everyone
like,
has a different experience.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be it. Like,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, thank you both. Like, I honestly really appreciate, you coming to, say all of this, like, pretty deep stuff about what's going on and sharing about your lives and everything. Like, I think it's a very interesting story, and I'm hoping people learn a lot from it.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for your time. And guys, as a reminder, please like, please subscribe, and help the channel grow. So, do zobaczenia!